I am just honored and so excited to engage and definitely get the message out.
Fellow El Pasoan, I love it. So, everyone looks like El Paso, like a border city. Nobody cares. It's complacent. Everyone here is sleepwalking, which I'm one of the people guilty of saying that. How do we wake people up to get out and vote for you? I mean, this is serious. Like, what we're dealing with in these midterms is very serious. Veronica Escobar basically wants open borders. She wants to get rid of the Border Patrol, right? Am I right in saying that? And have
Well, I don't think she wants to get rid of the Border Patrol, but she wants to control the Border Patrol.
Okay, well, explain that to me, please.
Okay, so one of the most recent articles that was actually put out by Breitbart, it definitely talks and highlights about this issue. She wants to have civilians come in and do what they call the processing. But just for disclosure, in case people don't know, my husband had a 24-year career with the Border Patrol. He just recently retired in December, and we're very thankful that he did. But it has to do not just with the medical freedom, not just with that issue, but it also has to do with, we saw the writing on the wall when Biden took office, and that's when we started planning for the end of the year. So that's why he retired in December, and of course he didn't fail us, that's for sure, Biden. So one of the things that they do is when they catch people, they process them. What does that mean? That means that they input them into the system, and so there's a lot of minutia in that. But now what Veronica is saying is that she wants civilians, regular people, to do that job. Now, the problem with that is that Border Patrol has been specifically trained to do this process, to do the interviewing, understand the body language, the answers, definitely everything that has to do with the immigration process and whether people are lying to them, they're able to detect all that. Now, you're going to bring somebody that probably went from flipping hamburgers, and I don't care who gets offended if I say flipping hamburgers.
No.
I never flip hamburgers because McDonald's would never hire me, but I applied. But you basically go from flipping hamburgers to it's a position of power. Really, you're empowered to say whether or not that person gets
letting people into the country.
Exactly.
People into the country. This is insanity. Basically, she wants a welcoming service. That's all she's asking for. The way I see it, the way I interpret it, is a welcoming service to allow these people just to come in. And the less experienced they are, the better, because they can't identify what you just said right now. So it's a welcoming service. Let's just be honest on what it is. This lady is dangerous for America. Veronica Escobar is a threat to our national security. I'm saying it right here. We need to vote you in. This cannot be tolerated.
Well, and that's one of the things, David, that we see. I get texts and messages all the time from my fellow El Pasoans, and I know that they mean well, but they're constantly sending me advice. I don't need your advice. We have enough advice. We have the experts already giving us that advice. What we need is people to wake up from their slumber, get active, become activists. The same tactics that the left is using, we need to not be afraid to use them ourselves. I went to a conference last summer, and Dinesh D'Souza was talking about when he put out his book, and it was in Costco and all the Costcos around the country. Well, then a few people pressured Costco to take the book down. And so he said, oh, okay, you want to take it down? So what happened with him is he had 1,000 of his activists go into the Costco website and go item by item. A pair of pants, a blouse, this is trash, it fell apart. Before you knew it, they had thousands of bad reviews on their own products, and they knew exactly where it came from. Costco called Dinesh D'Souza and they said, Not only do we want your book back on our shelves, we're going to set up a display for us. And until until El Pasoans understand that we need to use warfare tactics like these, activist tactics that will literally destroy a business if they come against the conservative movement, then that's what we need to do. But until people do that and get off their Telegram and their safe havens and talk to people only on Signal and stuff like that, and they hang candidates like myself out to dry, and we're basically fighting the war by ourselves. We can win the war. We can win the war. Yes, they took it away from us. Yes, you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, 2022, November 8th, is when we stop the reckless administration with its reckless policies that will destroy America. If every person that's watching this interview gets involved in their local GOP, with their local candidates, candidates are desperate for support. We're ignored by the RNC. We're ignored by the NRCC.
They're
We're
guilty
ignored
on
by
all,
the
on
RPT.
all fronts.
Exactly. But they use our tactics, they use our platforms to raise money. And there's three things that win elections. And this, I can't stress it enough. There's three things. Number one is activism. Number two is money. Money. And number three is a vote. So if you're saying I get a lot of people that do this. I support you. And I ask them now, what do you mean? Have you contributed to my campaign? No. Have you block walked for me? No. I vote for you. That's not supporting a candidate. That's the least that you can do is vote for me. But at the end of the day, I left my job just like many other candidates because we see we're losing our country and we have to do something, but we can't do it alone.
And then, like you said, we need activism, because I remember when in El Paso, I went into a business. I'm not going to say what business it is because it handled it, but they didn't serve me because I was not wearing one of these, right?
Right.
And so I said, "Oh, really? That's how you're going to play this game?" I put it on Twitter. I put their business name on Twitter.
I remember that.
And boom, they got bombarded, and they took that down quick. I think it was. I went back the next day, all the signs were down. "Hey, sir, how are you? Come on in." I'm like, "Oh, you don't like that, dude? That's how you handle this. That's really how you handle this." And I'm not going to live in this. What they're trying to bring about is a one world communist order. That's it. Mm-hmm. This is the way we fight back, is by November 2022, taking it back. And we're going to have to beat the cheating, obviously, because we know what they do. We know how dirty these people are. We know the pawns they're putting in place. Veronica Escobar being one of them, the other one being Beto O'Rourke. We have to fight. They're in place. They're getting ready to take down Texas. We have to get out and vote. And the way you do it is Irene Armendariz Jackson. Now, let me ask you this. What are your plans? What would you do when you first get in? Because I'm going to say you're going to in. You're going to beat her.
We're trusting the Lord that the good work that he began in me, he's going to complete it. And it's going to be, I think, more than even the RGV and the entire valley of Texas. This seat, when we flip it, it's going to shock everybody. Number one, like Beto is from here, and he has the support of every level of the Democrat Party. Veronica Escobar is not only supported by the Democrat Party, she's supported by Black Lives Matter.
Of course.
And so, yeah, and you go look at most of her donations are through the Black Lives Matter website.
It's like endless money. Right.
They have bottomless pockets, basically. Yeah. And so the first thing that we're going to do is, first of all, we are going to give the people back the power. If you look at the way our government was established, there's a quote that I like to use a lot, and it's actually by Winston Churchill. And he said, in order for there to be a government, there must be a people who want to be governed. So then the power lies on the people. That needs to go back, and everybody needs to go back to their place. Basically, the executive branch, which is the president, needs to go back to its corner and do what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to manage the country. He's not supposed to be writing laws. I hate executive orders, by the way.
Me too.
I hate them. And I know if you look at the history of the executive orders, the first president, George Washington, actually used the executive order. But right now, they're being handled frivolously.
Yeah, how
And
many has he signed? Like over 40?
oh my
Something
gosh,
crazy.
I lost track.
Yeah, I lost track too. This is it's irresponsible. Well, we know what he's in there for. He's a Trojan horse taking down America. They're bringing us into
Right.
this one world, new world order, World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab controlled planet. You know, that's really where we're going, folks. That's where we're headed. And they have
Exactly.
their pawns in place, like a Veronica Escobar, a Beto O'Rourke, to further take down Texas, because they know once Texas goes, so does everything, so does the nation.
Absolutely. And look, right now we're past the primary here in El Paso. And so, I mean, in El Paso, in Texas. So that means that Greg Abbott is our governor. He is our candidate. Everybody needs to rally, whatever the differences are at the border. And I can give you a definitely an opinion on the border and what Governor Abbott has done. And it doesn't come from me. It comes from the experts. Again, I don't need to know everything about everything, but I do need to surround myself with experts and listen to them. And I definitely have experts when it comes to immigration. And so he is our candidate. Every Texan needs to get out and vote and support and block walk. He is our candidate. You need to put your bias aside that your candidate didn't win. I'm sorry, we're past that point. Everybody had the opportunity to campaign. A couple of candidates, I never saw them in El Paso. Never saw them in El Paso. And El Paso, and you know that because you're from here, is the forgotten city of Texas.
It is the
But I
forgotten
will
city of
say
Texas.
that Paxton, he came. He came to El Paso and he did a fundraiser for me. And people ask me, how much did he charge you to come to El Paso? Because that's what they do, right? They charge you. Paxton didn't charge me 1 penny. So everything that we raised, we were able to put into the campaign. And for that, I want to publicly endorse Ken Paxton. He came to El Paso. He's filed several suits against this government. He actually, as a matter of fact, the Attorney General from Missouri came that day as well. And several states filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration that day because of the equipment that was left, all the supplies that were left at the border just to rot. That's your tax dollars. That's my tax dollars.
Makes me sick.
So we need to put our bias aside. If you're from Texas, Abbott is your candidate. Put your differences away.
Yeah,
at the
at
end
this
of the
point,
day,
listen, I don't like Abbott. I'll be honest with you, but I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna endorse him. I'm gonna back him because he is the candidate for Texas
Good,
right now.
thank
Now I would
you.
rather have anybody over Beto O'Rourke. Anybody. This guy's bad
Correct.
news. Veronica Escobar, bad news. So
Well, they're puppets. They're just
they're
puppets.
they're tools. They're just pawns, and they love the power, and to them that's everything. They don't care about the
Correct.
people, man. They don't care. How does your campaign look so far right now? Like, what do you have going forward from here?
So everything that we're doing is based on two things because I talked about how activism and money. Everything is about fundraising. I spend hours on end on the phone, but we're calling people that have donated before. These are donors. These are the established donors. And we need a whole new lieu of American donors. If you've never donated $1, this is it. You have to do it. And it doesn't take much to donate $10, $15, $20, $25.
Where do they
and it'll
donate?
make a
Where do
world
they
of
donate?
difference. IreneForCongress.com. IreneForCongress.com. And then second of all we're doing is activism. We're going out to the community. We're finding those community events that are already established and we infiltrate them. And well, this is going to air next Saturday. So by then it'll be 2 weeks since we went to an event in, where was it? In the South Side, off of Zaragoza in the Economy parking lot. And we had already filled out their paperwork. They accepted us as the Irina Menendez Jackson for Congress campaign. And when we were in line to get into this event, they saw my t-shirt and they didn't want to let us in because it was run by 2 Democrats.
Wow.
And what's crazy about that is we had already talked about politics. It took them a while to realize who I was. And then they were trashing Veronica up and down. These are 2 Democrats. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, we don't want it to become political. Isn't it funny how when it's the Democrats, they can do whatever they want, but when a conservative shows up, a Republican, all of a sudden they have brand new rules and they don't want to make it political.
100%.
Yeah, and I said, wait a minute, you just trashed Veronica up and down, and you're telling me you don't want to let me in? And he's like, oh, and he had also told me, both of them, one of them was a candidate for JP in the Lower Valley, and the other one is a neighborhood association president. And they said that one other candidate for commissioner, the one that's going against Stout, Judy Gutierrez, was going to be there. And I'm like, you're going to have these candidates and they're all Democrats and you're a Democrat, but because I'm a Republican, even though I'm a Hispanic native of El Paso, you're going to deny me the entrance. And it like hit them what they were doing. I think they try to keep us at bay as much as we could, but people were coming to our booth and they were whispering, I'm a Republican.
That's disgraceful. That's disgraceful. You should be proud. You should wear those colors with pride.
And that's what I told them. Why are you whispering?
They don't understand that we're actually the majority.
We are. We're
the silent majority. The liberals just do a good job of downing us and putting us down and then making it look like it's despicable, and they put their voices out there louder than we do. All you got to do is stand up and say, no, I'm not having it.
Exactly. On Twitter, if you go to my Twitter, it's Armendariz DIS 16. Armendariz, ARMENDARIZ, capital DIS 16. If you go to my Twitter, it's hilarious because all these white liberal men call me racist. Call me racist. And I'm going, did you not see my color? I'm like, did you not see my color?
It's insanity. I laugh. I don't care what, honestly. I'm gonna be honest, Irene. I don't even give them the time of day. I don't care. To me, it's like they're checked out of reality. They're what I call sleepwalkers. These same betas are wearing masks and at the park by themselves. It's weird. I don't want to have any discussion.
Jogging with their mask on.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's just like they're as extinct as the dinosaurs and they don't even know it. So exactly. Irene, I'm actually going to put you in touch. I'm gonna hit up one of Steve Bannon's people and see if I can get you on his show, get you some exposure, because that's what we need. And we've got to shine a light on you. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get you on the show. Every single time it's like I have a strike. So now I just said, you know what, I'm just going to record with you and we're going to put this up. So Irene, for Congress.
So you'll probably get a strike for this.
I don't think so. Okay.
So.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? IreneForCongress.com. IreneForCongress.com. They can donate there. Go donate. Exactly. I'm going to donate right now, Irene. So
excellent.
Thank you so much. And I listen, I'm hoping to God we can turn this around in 2022 in the midterms. I just pray to God that he puts some kind of divine interaction or something happens, because we're in trouble.
He will.
If we're in trouble, if we don't turn this around. We're in serious trouble.
You know what I love to hear from people when they say, you've got to win. You have to win. And that puts a little bit of urgency in their step. More and more people are understanding what's happening.
I'm telling you.
Bring back the mean tweets, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, but they rather have World War III, open borders. That's okay.
Well, do you know who?
I don't like the mean tweets, but World War III and open borders, yeah, let's go for it. It's crazy. So
did you hear the story did you hear the story when Veronica disarmed the Border Patrol on the bridge because they were gonna intimidate the illegal aliens?
Oh, get out of here. Are you serious?
Yes, and they were all Hispanic agents. And she said, y'all need to put your guns away. We got it from the horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth.
She's bad news. Happened. This lady is bad.
It's bad. She's bad.
She's very bad. She's bad news for this country. Very bad.
Yes.
Get her out. Get her out. El Paso, get out and vote. Irene Armendariz Jackson. That's who your vote needs to go to. If you remember any name, Irene Armendariz Jackson. That's who you vote for.
Exactly.
All right, Irene, I'll keep in touch with you, and I'm going to reach out to Bannon.
Love it. Love it. Thank you.
The least I can do.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right, Irene. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
God bless.